Hello everybody, this coming Sunday we will be celebrating Divine Mercy Sunday, another beautiful and powerful celebration within our Holy Mother Church. And in order for us to be ready to celebrate Divine Mercy, it is important sometimes to discover mercy of God in our lives, in the life of others, and sometimes perhaps to try to understand a little bit better what mercy is. Of course, this is just not a mere concept. It is something so profound, so deep, that is coming out of the heart of Jesus, out of the heart of God. And when we look at the scriptures and we see, like in the book of Genesis, right at the beginning, we will see, we will discover the mercy of God in action. When he didn't destroy Adam and Eve after the fall, but instead he took care of them. The scriptures tell us that he himself made garments, leather garments for them to protect them, to cover them. That right there is mercy. And I think that it's important to start seeing, discovering all the many times that God has been merciful, because sometimes we think that he may be offering mercy to everybody else but us. And a lot of times when we are close to that mercy, when we don't open our heart to accept, to receive that mercy of God in our lives, it's because there is an obstacle somewhere, because we may be thinking that we are not worthy of that mercy, that we cannot even try, that we are so lost, that we don't even try to look for that mercy. And when we look at stories in the scriptures, like the story of the adulterous woman that was brought to Jesus, we see mercy again in action. The Lord offered his mercy first to those who brought the woman to him. Remember, they were knowledgeable. They knew the law. Yet they were looking not for mercy. They were looking for justice for the woman. And how did the Lord offer the mercy to them? When he bent down and he started like to write on the sand, I look at that as if perhaps at that same moment, the Pharisees and all those who brought the woman, they were feeling something in their hearts, because it was the finger of God touching the dust, the same dust that they were made of. And in a way, the Lord was like saying, you cannot judge. You too owe me something. And that's when they started to, the scripture tells us, to drop the stones, and one by one went away. And then the Lord gave his mercy to the woman. And when we talk about this woman, I would like you to think for a moment, not of the woman, but as if the woman is representing our souls. And it's the Lord talking directly to our souls. And while we do that, we're going to see that, yes, she is guilty. We are guilty. Yes, she deserves punishment. We do deserve punishment. Yet it is the Lord saying to her, saying to our soul, nor do I condemn you. You may go, but from now on, avoid this sin. What a beautiful and powerful words to hear, and to think that those words are for each one of us, that the Lord is talking to each one of our hearts, that he's talking directly into our souls and is telling us that he's giving us his mercy, that we can go. But listen carefully to what really mercy is. She not only is going to be forgiven, the soul, and she can not only go and continue, but there is something else that we sometimes miss. The last line that the Lord told her, but from now on, avoid this sin. Mercy is the one that teaches us, showed us that we're doing something wrong and that we have to change, that we cannot continue doing the same thing. So that means that at some point we're going to have to ask for forgiveness. But before we ask for forgiveness, we have to recognize that we have truly offended the Lord, and that yes, we deserve a punishment, but we are going to ask for his mercy. And then he will give us the beautiful mercy, the beautiful love that he has for all of us. But we first have to be willing to ask for forgiveness. That's all the Lord wants from us, so that he can bestow, so that he can give us the mercy that is ready for all of us. And while these readings from the Passion are still fresh in our minds, I would like you to think for a moment on our first Pope, Peter. And the way that he reacted in the garden, we know that because he didn't pray, he reacted in a very human way. And he was the one who drew out the sword and he cut the servant's right ear. And we know the name of the servant, Malchus. Everything happened in the presence of the Lord. And there is mercy right here. And I know that a lot of times people, when have heard what I'm about to say, have received a lot of healing. The Lord didn't say, Peter, why did you do this? We will have to talk about this later. That's not what the Lord said to Peter. The Lord reprimanded Peter and said to Peter, put back your sword where it belongs. And while he was saying that, he was putting back the soldier's ear. He was healing that soldier. Imagine what Peter thought at that moment, and imagine what the soldier thought that the Lord was doing. First, the soldier was scared because he just lost his ear. And now the Lord, while was reprimanding Peter, he was healing him. I love to think that in this story happened exactly what the blessed Anne Catherine Emmerich writes in her book, when she says that Malchus, after all these events, after being healed by the Lord, he converted. And that after the resurrection, he joined the disciples. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because I have heard many times people saying that they would like to go back to the church, or that they would like to pray more, or that they would like to have a deeper encounter or more profound encounter with the Lord, with the sacraments, but there is something preventing them from doing that, and it is the fact that they being hurt by someone in the church. So to all of those who are in that particular case, I would like you to know that the Lord doesn't agree with the things that leaders, lay people, or any of us, or the priests, or whatever we are doing in the church have done wrong. The Lord hasn't approved any of that. The Lord doesn't approve the pain that anybody has received from anybody in the church. Perhaps for any of those who have been hurt in any way, you can probably recognize the mercy of Lord in this moment. When the Lord is telling you, like he did with Malchus, I'm here to heal you. I don't approve of those actions. You can come back to me in this Divine Mercy Sunday. You can let go of the grudge. You can let go of the pain. You can let go of everything that you have in your heart. I do not approve of any of this. This is a moment of mercy. Because a lot of times we don't want to talk about these things. We don't want to talk about the many times that we have been hurt, our feelings were hurt by the way that we were treated in the church. We are not perfect. No one is perfect. And I mentioned that Peter didn't pray, and that's the reason why he reacted in a very human way. Because a lot of times when we are in the church, when we are leaders in the church, if we don't pray, we are going to end up doing the same thing that Peter did. And today the Lord wants to heal you from anything that anybody has done or say to you, so that you can be free from that and that you can receive the mercy of God, the mercy to forgive that person, the mercy to allow the Lord to be the one judging that person, that action, but also the mercy that is going to make you a new person, a new Christian, a new Catholic, one that will decide today to go back to church, one who will be deciding to go back to the beautiful days that you remember still in your heart and in your mind, or how beautiful things were when you were able to go to church without feeling the sorrow, without feeling the heaviness in your heart. So this is a very powerful moment that the Lord wants to give to all of you that are listening. Because I know that a lot of times in one way or another, we have suffered and we cannot continue listening to the lies of the enemy. He doesn't want us to be happy. He doesn't want us to be part of the church. He doesn't want us to enjoy the graces and the blessings and everything that Holy Mother Church has for all of us. So I just wish that for all of those of you who are listening right now, that you may take the opportunity to go to confession, to give that to the Lord, to do your part, and to be able to receive mercy on this Divine Mercy Sunday. And the last thing that I want to say also about mercy is that with the soldier that was the one who trespassed the side of the Lord, remember what the scriptures tell us. His name at the beginning was Longinus. Then the Christian his name was Cassius. And the scripture tell us that he was the one who pierced the side of the Lord with the lance. He was having some sort of illness in his eyes. He was almost blind. He couldn't see well, but he was humble. And all he wanted to do was to do the right thing. And he was the one who felt the call, like he felt impelled to do what he did with the sword, with the lance, with the lance. And he got close to the cross. He looked at the Lord, and he felt in his heart that he needed to do that. And that's what he did. He trespassed the side of the Lord. And what a beautiful blessing he received. Because remember, he was having issues with his eyes. And he was the first one in receive the graces of that church that was just being burned from the side of the Lord. Water and blood, baptism and the Eucharist. And the stories that we have heard tell us that he was healed as well, but not only physically, mainly spiritually. And that's when he was able to recognize the Lord as the Lord, that he was truly the Son of God. And that's exactly what happens to the people who are baptized and who receives the Eucharist. That's what it should be happening to all of us who have been baptized and who have received the blood and the body of the Lord. We should be like Cassius, that now we can see, that now we can help others to see, to understand, to become holier, to be people, not only like we normally say sometimes, Easter people, but ambassadors of mercy, where we are going to live mercy on our own, for our own people, where we're going to give mercy to others, and where we are going to show the way to others to receive the mercy. Just imagine for a moment in everything that is happening around the world right now, all the people who have died without the sacraments, the people who have died alone, all those who didn't have the opportunity to recognize the Lord, how much they need of this mercy, how much they need us to bring them to the Lord. So I invite all of you, after you have done what you have to do for your own soul, for your own heart, to fix the things in your family, on Divine Mercy Sunday, to extend, to stretch out that mercy to the entire world, and to pray aloud for the holy souls in purgatory. Let's all then continue to prepare for the celebration of Divine Mercy Sunday. There are many people who need the mercy, many souls who need the mercy, but we need the mercy as well. So I would like just to close this by saying, Jesus, I trust in you. Thank you for listening. God bless.